Okay, second grade. This is week 6, day 1, and it's lesson 136, worksheet 136 on the front, homework 136 on the back, and this is going to be a review of digraphs, trigraphs, and quadrigraphs. Okay, so we have learned so much this year, so what this week is going to do is it's going to organize the things that we've learned, and each of these daily practices are going to be a review of all the things that we have learned in this particular day is dealing with digraphs, trigraphs, and quadrigraphs. So, just for a second before we get started, let's kind of go through what we do with a digraph, a trigraph, and a quadrigraph. Does anybody remember one of the first things that we do to code those? And that's correct. You're going to underline the digraph, the trigraph, or the quadrigraph that you find within a word. Okay, once you underline it because you've identified it as one of those three things, then at that point you can code the things within the digraph, trigraph, or quadrigraph, and then you can code the rest of the word. Okay, so we are going to start out today by taking a look at the vowel digraphs, and then we'll look at the consonant digraphs, and then we'll look at the trigraphs, and we'll take a look at the one quadrigraph that we learned this year. Okay, so let's just start with the digraphs. All right, you should recall that a digraph is two letters that come together to make one sound. Okay, we've been doing that hand motion all year long for a digraph. So remember, di means two. Digraph has two letters. So we're going to go ahead and start with the vowel digraphs. As we go through this, I will also do a review with you on where these digraphs are usually found within a word. Okay, so we're just going to flash through the cards, and hopefully this will help you as you do this activity. Okay, all right, sheep, E digraph, and this digraph is found usually in one syllable base words. Okay, glue, ue digraph, and it's usually found in the final position of a word. Key, EY digraph, usually found in the final position of a word. Leaf, EA digraph, and this one can be found in any position. And I want you to notice the coding of the letters within each of these digraphs because that's how you remember the sound that it's making within the word. Okay? Hey, AY digraph. This is usually a final position spelling. Okay, so like for example in this one you notice that the A is long and the Y is silent. That's how you know that it says A in a word. Okay, rain, AI digraph, and this is usually an initial or medial position spelling. Bow, OW digraph. Again, you can see that the O in this one is long, and you can see that the W in this one is silent, so it's slashed out, and that's how you know the spelling is O. Usually final position. Hook, short OO digraph, and this is usually a medial position spelling. Steak, EA digraph. Now in this one you can see that the E is not what we hear, so it's slashed out, it's silent. The long A is what we hear, and that's how we know that that particular spelling says A, like in the word steak. This is usually a medial position spelling. Tooth, OO, long OO digraph, usually a medial position spelling. Straw, AW digraph, usually final position. Thread, EA digraph, usually medial position spelling. Soup, OU digraph, usually a medial position spelling. Faucet, AU digraph, usually initial or medial position spelling. Soap, OA digraph, usually initial or medial position. Cashew, EW digraph, usually a final position spelling. Shield, IE digraph, and this one's a little tricky, but if you sound out the word shield, you can hear where this digraph does say E. Old shield. Okay, so shield, IE digraph, and that's usually a medial position spelling. Pie, IE digraph, usually a final position spelling. Receipt, EI digraph, usually initial or medial position. And then veil, EI digraph, that's usually a medial position. Again, when you sound out the word veil, you can hear the A-V-A-O, veil. Okay, so those are our vowel digraphs. We're going to go ahead and take a look now at the consonant digraph. Remember, the vowel digraph is a vowel digraph because it starts with a vowel letter. Okay, consonant digraphs are consonant digraphs because they start with a consonant letter. Okay, so we'll start with wreath, WR digraph, and this has the ghost W. That's why it's slashed out. It's because it is silent, and we call that ghost W here. Okay, this is usually initial position spelling. Nat, GN digraph with the ghost G. Again, usually initial position. Duck, CK digraph. On this one, you notice we're slashing out the C because the K sound of K is what we actually hear with this digraph. So duck, CK digraph. And you may recall that CK digraph always follows what kind of a vowel? That's correct. It's always going to follow a short vowel sound. Okay? Not, KN digraph with a ghost K, usually an initial position spelling. Anchor, CH digraph. Okay, and the C does have the K back on it because we don't hear the H. We hear the hard C sound, which says K. So that's why it has the K back on it. So anchor, CH digraph, usually initial or medial spelling. Ring, NG digraph, and this is going to be usually a final position spelling. Phone, PH digraph, usually an initial position spelling. Thimble, unvoiced TH digraph, and that can be found in any position of a word. Cheese, CH digraph, also any position of a word. Shark, SH digraph, any position of a word it can be found. Chef, CH digraph with the cedilla C, and then this can be found usually in the initial position of a word. Feather, voiced TH digraph, and this is usually a medial position spelling. Okay, so those are our consonant digraphs. Now we're going to take a look at the trigraphs that we cover. Now, who remembers what tri means? That's correct. Tri means 3. So how many letters does the trigraph have? That's right. It's going to have 3. All right. So you've got bridge, DGE trigraph, and you may recall that the DGE trigraph always comes after, that's right, a short vowel. Okay, we find DGE trigraph after a short vowel. Next, patch, TCH trigraph. This also always comes after a short vowel. And then light, IGH trigraph, and this is usually a medial or final position spelling. And now for the one quadrigraph that we learned this year. Remember, quad means, that's right, 4. So a quadrigraph has 4 letters in it. And the one we learned is sleigh, EIGH quadrigraph. Okay, sleigh, EIGH quadrigraph. It can be a medial, well, it can actually be an initial, medial, or final spelling. Okay? All right, so those are the digraphs, trigraphs, and quadrigraphs that we learned this year. All right, so on this page, you're going to be looking through these, and that's what really the main thing you're trying to find. I want you to code everything you need to within these words, but you're specifically looking for digraphs, trigraphs, and quadrigraphs. Okay? We're going to go through the process of coding a couple of the words that are right here on this list. We're actually going to do 1, 2, and then we'll jump to 7, and we're going to do 7 here. As far as this paragraph down here on the bottom, you just need to make sure that you can read through that and read that to someone. On the back, these are words that contain digraphs, trigraphs, and quadrigraphs. You're going to read through those, and then you're going to make sentences with as many of those as you can. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these couple of words from the list of words that you're going to be coding. Now, keep in mind, when you look at a word, you first want to look and see if you see a final stable syllable or a prefix or a suffix. Okay? On this particular word, no final stable syllable, no prefix, no suffix. So at that point, we're going to go ahead and start looking for combinations, digraphs, trigraphs, quadrigraphs, blends, any of those things that we've learned this year. Okay? So right off the bat, you see KN digraph, keeping in mind that it has a ghost K. So you're going to go ahead and slash it out. Your eye should also see CK digraph. Again, keeping in mind the C is silent. That's not what you hear. It's the K sound of the K that you hear in that digraph. Okay, so there's the codings you have so far. Now, once you've done that, at that point, you realize that this O, because it's in between these two consonants, is going to be short. Okay, and at that point, you can go ahead and sound out the word. K, knock. Okay, if you clap that out, that's a one-syllable word. All right, so the accent obviously goes there on the end for the one-syllable words. Knock, as in we heard someone knock on the door. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Again, no final stable syllables, no prefixes, no suffixes. So we're going to move into digraphs, trigraphs, quadrigraphs, combinations, blends. Okay, so looking at this one, the only one I see right in the middle is CK digraph. Again, we're going to slash out the C because the K is what we hear. Don't see anything else there. So we're going to move into vowel consonant patterns. Okay, this one was a one-syllable word. So there's no vowel consonant pattern because it's one syllable. You've got the one vowel, which is short in that word. Down here, we're going to look for any vowel consonant patterns. Okay, keeping in mind, this acts as one consonant. So you've got V, C, V. Now at this point, you need to figure out where you're going to split the word. Okay, if you split the word here, it's going to make this U long. And if you go through the process of sounding that out, you'll see that's not something that sounds familiar to you. So at that point, you're going to look for the next place to split it. You're not going to split the digraph, okay? So this will be where the split is, all right? At that point, you know that this is going to be a short U. This over here, also going to be short, and then you can begin sounding it out. Buck, et. Put it together, bucket, okay? Now, you clap that out, you realize that bucket is a two-syllable word, okay? And so you want to listen for how you say the word, all right? Would your grandma say, could you run over there and get that bucket for me to fill with water? Or would your grandma say, could you run over there and grab that bucket so I can fill it with water? Okay, so the stressing comes on the buck, not the et. Therefore, your accent is going to be on the first syllable of the word bucket. Okay, now again, I'm going to jump down to number 7, and we're going to go through the process of coding this word. Okay, again, you're going to start out looking for final stable syllables, prefix, suffix. I don't see any on that, so I'm going to move to combinations, digraphs, trigraphs, quadrigraphs, blends, things of that nature. Okay, right off the bat, I see CH digraph, which says ch. Okay, I also see OO digraph. At this point, I'm not sure if it's long or if it's short, but I do see that it's there. So I'm going to continue working through the process of coding on that. Okay, now, as I go through this, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here, I think these two could possibly be a blend. Okay, that might be a blend. So, old, chilled, chilled. Chilled doesn't sound like something that's familiar to me, but child does. So, child. Then at that point, I realize I'm working with a compound word. Okay, keeping in mind that compound means two or more. All right, so this particular word I know has child. Okay, childhood. All right, so once I've discovered I'm working with a compound word, then the split is going to go between those two words, childhood. Okay, at that point I know that is going to be a long I, old, child, hood, d. Okay, so that's going to be short, like hook, short, O digraph, all right, childhood. Now, as you go through the process of saying that, you're going to listen to where you stress again. Do you say, growing up, I had an amazing childhood? Or do you say, growing up, I had an amazing childhood? That's right. That first syllable is where you are stressing. Okay? So that first word, child, is where the stress is. That's where the accent goes. So I know there's going to be a couple of compound words on this page you're working through. So I just wanted to go through that process as well. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions about any of that.